Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Gamester81. So a lot of you guys, my one of my most recent videos, I said I would do the review of the rarest game of all time, the gameplay. I never said I actually own it, but I did say I would do the review of it. And here it is. It's a lot of you guys guessed it right. It's a Nintendo World Championship cart. I'm going to go a little briefly on the history of this game, why it's so rare. But let's start from the very beginning. Let's start with the movie The Wizard. Came out in 1989. Awesome movie. Stars Fred Savage, better known from his role in the Wonder Years. But in a nutshell, it's about this kid who runs away from home and goes on this Nintendo tournament. And, I won't ruin the plot how it ends, but it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It is on DVD. It's a fairly hard movie actually to find on DVD, but I do own it, and I plan on doing a review on it eventually here soon. But it's a fictional movie, so it was not based on a true story. And at the time, in 1989, there was no Nintendo tournament. But there was, a year later, in 1990, Nintendo did decide to do a world tournament. And what I don't understand why they decided to call it a world tournament, or a world championship rather, because it actually was only in North America. So it didn't expand over Europe or Asia or anything like that. So technically it wasn't world. But there were a couple prizes awarded. And there's 3 games in this built in this cartridge. There's Super Mario Bros. 1, there's Rad Racer, and there's Tetris. And it's set at 6 minutes and 21 seconds, and whoever can score the most points actually wins. Now, the award, they did break it up into different age groups, and the winners would get a $10,000 savings bond. There was a Geo Metro convertible. I almost said Neo Geo, but it's a Geo Metro convertible. Also, there was like a 40-inch rear projector TV, which is a big TV back in the day. But there was also carts that they were given away. And there was about 116 carts total. 90 of them were gray. 26 of them were gold. Now, there's only about 12. Now, these were given away, and now they covet a huge price tag. There's only about 12 of the gold carts that have surfaced up. And most recently, the one last year sold, I think, on eBay for like $17,500, which is ridiculous, like a car. Now, there's a gray cart also surfaced, and those usually go for a couple grand as well, not as much as a gold cart. But I got this reproduction card. I got it on a really cool website called retrozone.com. Really highly recommend it. There's a link on the side here. It came with a couple things. It came with a box, which the original ones don't come with boxes. It also came with an instruction manual, which is really cool. And it talks about the history of it. Now, Thor Ackerland is actually the guy who won it, and he scored a total of 2,809,995 points, which is a lot of points in 6 minutes and 21 seconds. It also came in with a really cool poster and the cart. Now, this cart's a little different than the original. Obviously, it's a clear blue cart, not a gold or gray. Also, there's these tabs here, and this is where you can set your times. Now, the set right now at 6 minutes and 21 seconds, but if you want to push them all the right, it extends to 9 minutes. If you push them all the left, it's 5 minutes. And there's a little chart here in the instruction manual. It shows you can customize the time you want. Now, in the original carts, this thing is actually moved up here. But let's check out the gameplay of this, and let's see how I do.
All right, so let's check it out. Now, in order to start the game, you got to push select on controller 2. They did that so you wouldn't jump the gun on the tournament. And the object is you got to get 50 coins as fast as you can for Super Mario Brothers. Now, there's a shortcut I learned to do this. I'm going to show you. A lot of guys would try to rack up points by going to like the turtle level where there's that turtle and you jump on it and get points that way. But really, honestly, Super Mario Bros. Points is only timed by 1, so it really makes more sense to all the points, most of the points, 90% of your points will be on Tetris. So you want to get there as fast as you can since there's a time limit. Now I'm going to purposely die here, and the reason I do that I'll show you because it pops you up to a coin box. Now, depending on when you finish the level, if you get the 50 coins on level 1, 3, 5, an odd level, the next level, Rad Racer, is much easier. If you finish on even level 2, etc. so forth, and what I mean by level, I mean stage, it's much harder. So I found finishing on stage 1, it's a lot easier that way. Also, points-wise, depending on how many points you rack up, I found the perfect amount of points for the easiest Tetris is actually 10,300 points. Anything like 10,500 points, it's a totally different Tetris level, and it's much harder. So really, there's a lot of strategy involved with how many points you want to get, etc. so forth. I finished with exactly 10,300 points, which is good. 10,400 points is a good, easy Tetris as well. Rad Racer, check that out, Squaresoft. If you guys recognize Squaresoft, they make a whole bunch of Final Fantasies, obviously. Now, this one, you can't choose your car, and you can't change the music. And there's various strategies on this one as well. You can hold up and you go a little bit faster. And you have to look for the signs coming, and that'll tell you kind of which way to turn. So you got to keep your eye out for that. But this is, like I said, this is an easier level because I finished Super Mario Brothers on stage 1. If it would have been on stage 2, the bugs or the guys you're racing, they look like bugs. They're actually much more aggressive, and they turn a lot more, and there's much more of them. Kind of a catchy tune. This is my least favorite game of the 3, because pretty much you can't really control it as far as how many points you get. You can finish as fast as you can, but there's no control. Whereas in Super Mario Brothers, you can get coins, you can jump on enemies. This one, you can't really control your point total as much. Got a big turn coming up here. I'm going to turn my right here soon. It's big. Biggest turn of the game, actually, of this stage anyway. Now coming up, when I hit, you'll see in a minute, but when I hit 60,000 and about 60 points, I want to purposely crash. And the reason I do that, because when I purposely crash, it's gonna just, when I cross the finish line, it's gonna jump to the next game. Whereas when you finish normal, you're gonna slide to a finish, and it eats up about 5 or so seconds. So each second is valuable in this game. So here you go. I purposely crash, and it's going to jump. There you go. See, it just jumps right away, and rather than skidding to a halt. Now Tetris, this is where you want to get the most points. Now obviously the points are Tetrises are what you want to aim for. And what Tetris, if you guys don't know, is 4 lines. Now Tetris, the points total is timed by 10. Whereas I believe Red Racer is by either 2 or 5. I don't recall, but we'll see here in a minute. Now, since I scored 10,300 points on Super Mario Brothers, the pieces are the exact same every time. If I were to score 10,200 points, it would be a different set of pieces. Whereas if I scored 10,500 points, it would have been completely different. 10,000, 400, etc., so forth. So it's just interesting how it does that. Tetris can get really, really frustrating if you don't get the pieces you want. I need a block really bad. There you go. Now in this you can't change the music either. In case that makes a difference or not. Now the levels on this Tetris go much quicker if you notice. I'm already on level 7, whereas in the original Tetris, they go much slower. So this is an accelerated version of Tetris. Okay, here we go. Time's up, so let's see what I got. 1,192,000. Not too bad. Not too shabby, I guess, for a couple of runs. So you can see it's a very hard game to play, get those almost 3,000 points. Thank you so much for watching, YouTube. We'll see you soon. Take care.